Hey, what's up, Dumpster Dwellers? We're trying something new with a little ripe reviews, and we're going to be bringing you some new movies in short format, just to kind of give you like our knee-jerk reaction and our thoughts. And we're kicking it all off with Godzilla vs. Kong from 2021.
Just dropped the other day. I watched it on HBO Max, but Joe, you went to the theater, and can you kind of, you gotta tell me about this. How was it?
Okay, I'm fresh off of it from last night. We went to, it's been a long time. We didn't know if you were going to be going back to the theaters or anything like that with COVID and stuff. Me and my fiance, Julie, both have both of our shots, and we felt comfortable enough to go check it out. And this was one of those movies that I kind of needed to see in the theater. So we were very fortunate because our IMAX theater out here, we're in Pennsylvania, and we went to the one in Center Valley AMC, and there was like fucking nobody there, right? And there's usually nobody there to begin with. So we have this kind of nice promenade area where there's like really good restaurants and the movie theaters. So we got to eat in a socially distanced restaurant, and we enjoyed that. Some Thai food, and then we saw fucking Godzilla vs. Kong in IMAX.
Giant lizard versus big monkey.
Oh my goodness.
Even though he's technically not a monkey, I know that. It's kind of a meme. It's funny.
I know. Right. He's a fucking he just resembles a monkey, right? Or a gorilla rather.
Yeah, he's almost like somewhere in the middle between man and monkey.
He's a titan. He's a giant fucking anomaly.
Well, right. As we found out in King of the Monsters, obviously.
Yes. Well, I didn't, I don't want to say I loved this film, but I really liked it a lot.
Yeah, same. And, we were talking before this that we're probably going to keep it a little loose on any kind of spoilers until we kind of get through an overview, and then we're going to kind of let you know when the spoilers are coming if you don't want to hear them. But, hopefully you've seen it by now.
So what'd you think? What was your first impression?
I liked it a lot. I mean, if you were there, any of our patrons for the watch-alongs of Skull Island and King of the Monsters, I like Skull Island, but I thought King of the Monsters kind of sucked, to be perfectly honest. Like, that scene with Rodan was great. When he's flying in the sky, taking out the jet planes and everything. And, that final confrontation with Ghidorah is cool. But the rest is like, oh, man, this is kind of a drag.
Yeah.
But, the human story still was a little weak, I think, overall. But there was enough characters that I could kind of bond to. And, that made it a little less painful, and the monster fights are great, so I liked it a lot more. I gave it a my own personal rating, probably a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I think that's kind of accurate. Yeah, that first remake was kind of dark for most of it, and I don't mean like the lighting. I mean like the tone of it all. It's very serious and it's very dramatic, which was fine because I think America kind of needed to do that. At least with that first, give it a better go than the 98 version.
Yeah.
And then King of the Monsters was supposed to be, the balls out monster fight thing, but they kept a lot of that over the top dramatic realism that it works for some things, but I feel like, for Godzilla, you only need so much of it, right? So King of the Monsters was whatever, there's cool monster fights like Sean said, but that human element, fucking no thank you. It just was not good.
We got the Orca device, Dad! We gotta get the Orca device!
Millie Bobby Brown, who could give a shit about you and your family in that movie? Like, again, it's very much like running around like, oh, don't do that, or I'll have to save you. Hey, Dad, I have to do this. Come save me, for whatever reason. And of course, Skull Island was, I think, is the best out of the new series thus far. Before I talk about GVK, but
agreed.
Skull Island just hit all the right notes. It was bright, it was colorful, it looked great, a lot of good monster stuff. The human story was fine. It didn't take itself too seriously, but there was still enough drama in there to kind of satiate all that. But yeah, fast forward to Godzilla vs. Kong. I think we're starting to crack the code here, right? Because that super dramatic element is not in this film, and all of the pieces, or the human elements rather, act a lot more like those classic Godzilla films where it's like semi kind of like spy movie. You know, we're breaking into shit and looking for things and trying to figure out this mystery behind this corporation and all this stuff. All in the midst of Godzilla attacking the mainland and this corporation for reasons unknown. And the way that they bring Kong and Godzilla together, I thought, was pretty clever.
Yeah.
And felt good. And all of the Hollow Earth stuff felt really good. Like, it was the right level of, like, silly that I liked, and it works for these types of movies, and they embraced it a lot. I think Wingard really embraced it. I mean, this is still written by Michael Dougherty, who did the King of the Monsters, but this is it's a lot more fun, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The ride is a lot more fun.
I'll say, like, the monster fights are a lot better in this one, too. Like, you get a lot of, especially, like, the first main fight between Kong and Godzilla, and then that last one. Without going into it yet, we'll go into it in a little bit.
Yeah.
Both of those were great fights.
I screamed at the screen the entire time. I was like... I was having so much fucking fun. It, like, rejuvenated me. It was crazy.
I was definitely jumping off my couch, that's for sure.
Yeah.
One character I want to talk about, you know, that I don't think is a huge spoiler. She was in all the trailers, but this little girl.
Yeah.
Kind of, for me, her connection between her and Kong kind of made the movie.
Loved it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was great. It was almost like... we needed a relation to the monsters, right? And that was it.
Kong is basically the protagonist of this film.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he just wants to take a nap. He wants to be left the fuck alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, she almost functions like the Shobijin for Mothra, kind of.
A little bit. Yeah.
She kind of speaks for Kong and communicates with Kong. And there's some pretty heartfelt moments that I thought worked really well.
What did you think of the score? I thought it was pretty good myself.
I liked it. Who's doing this one? I always forget the name.
I don't know, but they definitely kind of did the similar thing as King of the Monsters, where they would just bring that Godzilla theme, like the classic one, in when he would show up. And I want to say they did it with the classic Kong theme, but I didn't go back and check.
Well, the Bear McCreary did King of the Monsters, and it's escaping me right now who did the one for this movie. I think it's like an Adam Wingard like regular that he uses for his films. But I think, don't quote me on that. But the Godzilla theme that you're talking about, it's like a dime store version of it because it's not exactly the Toho.
Sure.
The Ifukube score, the which I thought was a little strange. Like, you have it, but you don't. Like, why didn't you just fucking do it? I don't know. It was fine, though. I thought it was good.
No, yeah. Do you have anything else you want to mention before we kind of just go into spoilers? Like, anything else you feel like that you want to cover to the general film?
The balance of this movie feels very good to me.
I would mostly agree, yeah.
You know, I think the pacing is fine. I think the story, all the human stories are fine. A lot of it's cliched, but it works. It works for these types of movies. Like, this is, if you're gonna do them, this is the movie to do them in. But it never feels like, it never feels forced or like corny. I mean, there's a couple things we can talk about when we get into spoilers, but it never feels like so fucking stupid that you're rolling your eyes at it. And also, you have to embrace the fact that this is motherfucking Godzilla vs. King Kong.
Right.
Like,
well.
What are you expecting?
Exactly. The only thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I get they're setting up story, I just felt like the first half hour just really was moving at a fucking snail's pace. And then once...
Really?
For me, at least. Like, it was interesting material they were kind of conveying that comes back later in the movie. So it's like, okay, it's all relevant. But it's just like, man, maybe I sound like a jerk for saying this, but I really was like, come on, we need to get to these monster fights. And once we do, they don't ever really slow down. So I guess I shouldn't complain. But that was my only, like, real negative about the film.
Yeah, I mean, and that's subjective, really, because I thought it was fine. I think they spend just the right amount of time kind of introducing you to the new set of characters, and what they do and how they're relevant to the plot and stuff. But that's my opinion.
No, sure.
But yeah, if you don't want any spoilers to the film, or maybe if you do, you might want to shut it off or keep listening because we're about to jump in right now.
Speaking about characters returning from the first film that are just not relevant at all in this movie, by the way, Kyle Chandler, why is he in this film?
I don't know, because Millie Bobby Brown needs to be there for whatever reason.
Right. She is a little better in this movie. I feel like they were like, okay, let's do the plot line from Stranger Things Season 3, but like Dustin's storyline where he goes into like this fucking base. That's what it felt like to me a little bit.
It's okay, so...
And she's like hip now because she's older. She's drinking coffee and shit.
I guess. And she's very much like the Bryan Cranston role in the first movie because she's like got shit all over her room and stuff.
Right. And she listens to like this podcast where this guy is working at this like evil corporation and like spoiling their secrets but never gets caught.
Apex is what they're called, yeah.
Right. And is that supposed to be like the organization from King of the Monsters, or is this totally unrelated? Charles Dance's stuff.
It's a Monarch facility, I think. But Apex, I mean, it's pretty on the nose, but I kind of like it because it's like, oh, well, what is Apex doing?
Oh, well, building an Apex Predator, AK. Okay.
Yes.
We already said we're spoiling shit.
Yeah.
Mechagodzilla, we kind of already knew because of marketing.
Wait, I want to wait to get to Mechagodzilla. Let's.
Oh, okay.
Okay, come on. That's like the crescendo of the fucking movie.
Yeah, because we meet this. What was this character's name? This conspiracy guy that Millie Bobby Brown and her friend meet up with.
Oh, jeez, I couldn't fucking tell you.
Conspiracy nut. This guy.
Yeah, yeah, and he's like,
she's like, I'm Millie Bobby Brown from Monarch. Let me in. And he opens the door. He's got these like Egon Spangler ass fucking binoculars on. He's like, oh, I know you.
Like, they didn't need to, like, I guess they just wanted to bring her back and Dude back because they're familiar characters from the last movie, but like, you could have put anybody in this role, which is fine. And the kid from Deadpool 2 is there, and he's funny as shit. He's in a bunch of Taika Waititi movies. I really like him.
I think, too, I was thinking about this after the fact. It's like, I was talking to Tony from Hack the Movies. He keeps coming up, but I was talking to him about the movie. And I was saying to him, I guess they were the only Godzilla characters really in the movie because everybody else was from the Kong universe, I guess, either, from Skull Island or adjacent to Skull Island or brand new sets of characters. Like, they really didn't have too many people from the Godzilla movie come back.
No, and I guess they wanted to bridge that with Millie Bobby and whatever the fuck that guy's name is.
Yeah.
But I mean, but again, like they function in a sort of different way. We get a little bit of that. No, don't do that because then I'll have to come save you. No, fuck you, Dad. It's for the better of the world or whatever. But it's not the main focus, and that's what I appreciated. We get a little bit of it because you have to have it, but basically it's they go to break into this Apex facility, which I really liked because I was like, okay, this feels like a plot of a Godzilla movie, right? Like,
sure.
Like there's something bigger going on, and like we're gonna do like this pseudo spy kind of shit and kind of crack the code or the mystery of what the fuck's going on and why Godzilla's attacking and stuff. And I think it was fine. Like,
yeah,
I didn't have a problem with it at all.
They get on like on a fucking monorail and there's just like skull crawlers in like eggs. It's like, what?
That was fucking sick, dude. Oh, so they get stuck in this fucking crate with these skull crawlers' eggs, and they get transported to this facility in Hong Kong. And like Sean was saying before, fucking Mechagodzilla's there, and they basically have this like fucking like fighting arena where they let out skull crawlers, and this fucking thing. The energy breath from this thing like cuts it in half. It's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I thought for a hot second, because when they're walking into like this pit, that like Ghidorah was going to be resurrected. And I was like, wait, no, I would have known that going into this if Ghidorah was fucking in here. Because you just see like claw marks all over and blood. I don't know what the hell is going to happen.
Well, kinda. So Serizawa's son is like working with this guy in Apex to create...
Is that who that's supposed to be?
Yeah, that's Serizawa's son.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude.
I must have missed that line.
Yeah, it's like a throwaway, because he introduces him to the guy who does the Hollow Earth shit, and he's like, this is whatever Serizawa. The Dos Equis guy fucking introduces him.
Oh my god.
I thought that was so... Mechagodzilla has has an entirely new layer to it.
Yes.
Because I wasn't sure how they were going to do it and like how Ghidorah's skull was going to come back. Turns out Ghidorah's skull is like sentient, and they use that to neurolink with the fucking Mechagodzilla. So basically, Ghidorah's skull becomes self-aware and controls the fucking Mechagodzilla robot.
Yeah.
So it's like Ghidorah is born again with inside Mechagodzilla, which is fucking sick.
And they have like this kind of climax to that plot line is that guy like connects, but well, there's another thing that happens in the movie. I mean, obviously, if you saw it, you know what it is, where Kong goes to Hollow Earth with the archaeologist and finds, like, that power core or whatever at the center of the Earth or some bullshit.
Yeah.
And they get, like, a fragment of it, and they scan it, and then I don't know how the hell them scanning it lets them understand how to harness it.
That's fine. Science bullshit.
Sure. It makes more sense than Godzilla's atomic breath creating a portal, a fucking hole in the ground to it. That made zero sense, but whatever.
Let me tell you something. That was fucking awesome.
It was awesome, but it was kind of stupid even for this movie.
Why? I thought that was fucking great. Like, it shows you how powerful Godzilla is.
No, sure. I did like how Kong then took that fucking axe and just like came down the fucking hole towards Godzilla.
Man, they go to fucking Hollow Earth, which is kind of neat. And we like get Kong's backstory. Like, that's where he like, you know, reigned supreme or whatever, like his species, and like they fought Godzillas or whatever.
Dude, they fight these like, what the hell is this thing he fights? These two flying viper creatures?
Oh man, those things are cool as hell. I think they're called hellbats, but they're fucking sweet.
Yeah, and he fucking rips the one's head off and he takes a bite out of the fucking neck. It's like, oh, okay.
Drinks its fucking brains. I really liked how Kong's kind had like a society in Hollow Earth, and there was like a statue of Kong, and like they had this axe that was fitted with, you know, one of the fins from Godzilla's race, and like it insinuated.
Yeah, right. They insinuate they've been fighting for centuries.
Yeah, and yeah, like Sean said, Kong like fires up, like charges this fucking axe in like this old power thing, and Godzilla fucking shoots his breath into the earth because he knows that it's activated, and he blows a fucking hole from Hong Kong into Hollow Earth and like shoots like where they stand, like where the scientists and everybody are like standing, and Kong's down there. It's fucking sick.
Yeah.
And then like Kong fucking jumps up this hole into fucking Hong Kong, and fights Godzilla, and Godzilla whips his fucking ass.
Oh, he whips his ass. Let's talk about the first fight, though, real quick, before we talk about that.
The big one in the trailers, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty long fight. I thought at first, because they set up this whole thing where this Apex facility gets destroyed by Godzilla, because you find out Apex basically has some kind of orca device that's part of Mechagodzilla, essentially, that's attracting him.
Well, it gives off that Apex predator like signal or whatever.
Right. And I thought every time they showed his eyes blue, he was mind controlled at first, but then I realized as the movie went on, it was just a indicator of him using his atomic breath.
Yes, but it's also, you can't forget, like the reason that it was giving off that signal was because it was linked to Ghidorah's skull that was sentient.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So Godzilla kept thinking Ghidorah was back, and he had to go fucking whoop an ass.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. But anyway, they take Kong out of Skull Island, which apparently got destroyed by like these bad hurricanes, and almost everyone died but that little girl.
Yeah.
Who the whole thing is she could do sign language and Kong talks to her that way, which I was kind of like, once it was happening, I was putting it together as it was happening. I was like, I'm kind of okay with that. That's kind of cool, actually.
I was fine with it. Like,
and Kong wants to go home. It's kind of sad. You feel bad for him.
Yeah, he definitely has a layer of like humanity to the character, and I think it really works. He is almost part of the human element, and I think that's why it works so well. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I was on Team Godzilla all the way, but I was like also kind of rooting for Kong. I was like, come on, Kong, get up again.
Yeah, but Kong definitely has like the heartfelt story for sure, and
yes,
it works, you know, because you can relate to Kong better than you can relate to Godzilla, but Godzilla's still my boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So he comes in and they have all these battleships, and Kong's like chained up on one of them.
Oh man. It's so good.
Godzilla's just blowing these fucking ships up, no problem.
He's fucking spanking everybody.
Mind you, also, Kong is sedated somewhat in this scene, so he's a little weakened. But King Kong, goes after him. He like flips the fucking ship over, and they barely release Kong, and they have this awesome fucking like underwater fight for like a solid minute.
Yes, it's really cool. They're like, they're fighting each other underwater, and man, it's really well choreographed too. Like, like there's a lot of scenes where you're like, oh shit, like Godzilla goes after Kong, and then Kong gets Godzilla, and how's Kong gonna get out of it? Is Godzilla gonna get back up? Is Kong gonna get back up? It's really fucking fun.
I love when Godzilla goes to like kind of leave, and Kong's like, fuck that, and is like jumping on like battleship to battleship to like fucking take out Godzilla.
I love how they did it too, because like, yes, there is a clear winner. Like, Godzilla is the motherfucking king of the monsters, but they also...
Oh, yeah.
And the way they do that is, like, basically they just have Kong submit, more or less, or kind of be the bigger... whatever, like,
Right, well, he loses his first fight, and then he comes back with the axe, and they have this huge fight in Hong Kong, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Throwing each other through buildings and shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. It ends up with Godzilla just fucking murking him, like, fucking crazy. He shoots him with the atomic breath, and then, like, cuts him up, like, scratches him up and bites the shit out of him, and then stomps on his fucking chest, pretty much, like, caving in his rib cage.
Yeah. He almost kills him straight up. Like, King Kong almost dies, and they have to, like... restart his heart with this fucking like gravity ship they're on, and he comes back.
It's fucking cool. It's so fucking Toho. It's so like classic Godzilla that I'm like, this is what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted. Like, just go fucking crazy with it. Go be silly. I don't give a shit. Like, you can be serious and do silly shit at the same time, and it'd be fun.
Yeah, and it was also a case too, in my opinion, just watching that, where Godzilla, he got kind of like put down for a minute there because Kong had that axe and was kind of like giving him the business.
Yeah.
And then after he was like, all right, you actually knocked me down? Fuck this. And he went like full like rage mode, and he's like crawling on all fours, or all fours, and he's like going in on Kong, just really nonstop beating the shit out of Kong.
Godzilla runs in this movie.
Yeah, he doesn't fly, thank God.
No, he doesn't fly, but he runs. Like, he's not just like a lumbering whatever. Like, he runs and like tackles motherfuckers.
I also like the idea of, he has the atomic breath, but it's not instantaneous. He has like a little bit of a charge up, and they play into that a lot in the fights, where Kong can tell because he's lighting up and keeps punching him in the face and like knocking his face around so he can't fire it off.
Oh, it's great, dude. And then sometimes like Kong does his fucking classic like jaw break.
Yes!
But his fingers go in, and he shoots the atomic breath and burns his fucking fingers and shit, dude. It's great.
Yeah.
They're like biting each other's toes and shit, trying to get away. It's fucking great. It's really, really well done.
And then they, of course, team up against Mechagodzilla, who is now sentient, being controlled by the DNA, I guess, of King Ghidorah. Who also, like, in the process, I guess, kills Serizawa's son?
Yeah, he fries his ass. He becomes sentient because Serizawa's son is, like, controlling it neurologically. And I guess, Ghidorah becomes aware when it's charged up with that power and fucking fries Serizawa in the chair.
And kills the fucking, like, CEO of Apex, just for fun.
Dude, Dos Equis guy gets it good.
Yeah, Connor's dad. See ya.
Oh, yeah. It was great. And then, like, Mechagodzilla fucks Godzilla up.
Yeah.
And then, basically the little girl, has Kong help Godzilla because he's like, hey, he's not the enemy. Like, you guys shouldn't fight or whatever. Like, the Mechagodzilla is the enemy. Like, you were chilling on your fucking island. Godzilla wasn't even coming after you,
Yeah. So then he helps him, of course, and that's how they defeat him.
It's even more, I can't even describe how amazing it is. Because they're like pulling Mechagodzilla's arms across from each other and like beating the shit out of this thing, shooting it with his breath. Kong gets the axe again, and fucking Godzilla like charges it up, and Kong like fucking cuts the goddamn limbs off this thing, rips its head off. It's so fucking cool.
Now, I didn't like this part in particular, but when I was talking to Tony about this, he put it into kind of a context where then I did like it.
What was it?
Where I initially did not like the idea that, Millie Bobby Brown and her friend and, the crazy guy end up helping defeat Mechagodzilla by pouring that fucking bottle of whatever into the computer system.
Whiskey.
I was like, that was kind of fucking stupid. I wish they just were able to defeat it without any help. But he made a good point. He's like, well, you always have the humans help them in some capacity. I was like, all right, fine.
No, absolutely. Again, like I said, like, it really feels like an old Toho film.
I agreed. And then I love the way it ends, where it's just like King Kong and Godzilla kind of looking at each other. Like, Godzilla, if he wanted to, he could just go back and just finally, finish what he started.
Yeah.
But he's like, nah, I got your respect. Like, I'm good. And he just pieces out.
Well, Kong submits. He drops the fucking axe,
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
And then Godzilla bounces. But, instead, but Kong also doesn't give a shit because he's like, yo, I'm going to go rule Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
And he becomes the king of Hollow Earth once more.
Yeah, I actually did like, I brought her up a few times already, but the little girl, and I don't remember any of their names, but like the main guy they bring in who's like the expert on the Hollow Earth, and the woman who's basically like Jane Goodall, who's the guardian of the little girl. I thought they were actually all pretty good.
I liked it. I thought it was a ton of fun. And seeing it in the theater just really, if this was like, I would sit on my couch and enjoy this, but seeing it in the theater, like with the fucking booming stereo and the giant screen and it was a great time. It was a great time.
I wonder if Ted Boas enjoyed his 3D fucking viewing that he was telling us about.
I don't know. I got to follow up. I'll shoot him an email and be like, "Hey, Ted, what'd you think?"
So definitely my favorite of the, I guess they were calling it the Monsterverse. Definitely the one that I will probably go back to when it comes out on 4K.
So I only have the first Godzilla on disc, but I will definitely be picking this up. For sure. It fits so well. And has all the things that I want in a King Kong vs. Godzilla movie. It's a lot of fun while still being, it's contemporary, but it's also got enough retro juice in it for me where it works really well. I don't know. This is a fucking popcorn flick through and through.
Oh yeah, it's no high art, but that's not what I was expecting. I just wanted cool monster fights with at least a decent human story, and we pretty much got that.
Yeah, and I gotta hand it to the VFX crew. I mean, they did a fucking hell of a job with these fights. They're really, 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 really well done.
Oh yeah.
And they're long. They are very long. You see everything. It's really good.
And the monsters just look great. Like, anytime there's a close-up on Godzilla or Kong, they're always salivating. You can really, read their emotions. And they also do a lot of stuff in this movie where, they've done it in previous films where they show, Kong and Godzilla kind of figuring out strategies mid-fight.
Yes.
And I love that.
Oh, it's so good. They're definitely thinking on their feet and stuff. And there's a shit ton of Easter eggs laced in.
Well, they fly Kong in like in the original.
Oh, yeah.
No balloons this time. They use a net, but...
It's great, man. I love how Kong reacts to the snow and stuff.
Yes,
because the Hollow Earth entrance is in Antarctica, and I love the scene where they go into Hollow Earth. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. I like the big thing for me too is if they decide to continue this series in any way, I want to see a Kong movie in Hollow Earth. I want to see what that's all about.
Sure, there's a lot of potential there. I don't know exactly what they would have in store. I'd like to see, again, it's time for aliens, for real aliens, coming and threatening Earth, and Gigan comes or Megalon comes or something,
Right. If we're gonna get another American one, that would be fucking sick.
Yeah. I would be fine if we stopped here. I would be good.
I would even take a new, maybe this is a bad idea to put out into the ether, but I would even take a new take on Space Godzilla. That could be kind of cool.
Yeah, it's just
it sounds like you're more like, I'm good.
Well, here's the thing. If I remember correctly, Space Godzilla is born of Godzilla vs. Biollante?
I think he just comes from space, but it's been a while since I've seen it.
No, because some of his DNA goes into space and then accumulates there and creates Space Godzilla.
Okay. Well, Biollante would be cool, too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Well, it's something there because Biollante's part Godzilla as well, and when he fries fucking Biollante, I think he goes into the atmosphere or something. I don't quote me on that, but it's...
I gotta rewatch the fucking Millennium series because it is very good.
Well, that's the Heisei.
Well, either way.
No, for sure.
Heisei and Millennium I gotta revisit.
Yeah, totally.
I look forward to maybe see if Toho ever is gonna take up the mantle again and see what they would do.
I could always use more Toho Godzilla. Again, I would have loved a sequel to Shin Godzilla. That would have been great. It now exists in our culture, the American films, a movie that kind of captures the spirit of those older films. Maybe not Gojira, but Godzilla through the 60s and 70s.
Oh yeah.
And I'm into it. It's got a little flavor from everything, and even the Heisei and Millennium. I don't know. It feels good. It's a ton of fun. It's I'll watch this again for sure, like no doubt. Like I'm really looking forward to watching this with my dad. I think he's gonna have a fucking blast.
Oh, he's gonna love it.
Yeah, that has been the Ripe review, our first one,
and we'll be coming back with our second one actually later this month.
Oh yeah, stay tuned. We got some MK, baby. I cannot fucking wait for that. Let me tell you something.
We're gonna have Connor the Skeleton in the house. If you saw that artwork, you know all about that over on the Instagram or the Patreon. As we kind of move into this event month.
Yeah. Totally. Super Combat Fighter Double Dumpster Edition Turbo going full out. We got Double Dragon coming up for you next Friday. We got Mortal Kombat, the first Mortal Kombat, the original Mortal Kombat. Then we're doing a Ripe review of the new Mortal Kombat movie, and then we're doing Street Fighter. And what else we got cooking in there? We got a fucking Doom commentary for Patreon. We got a Patreon watch along of Future Cops, which is a Chinese Chinese movie that rips off Street Fighter characters and Dragon Ball Z characters, and is this weird storyline. It's fucking insane. It's in Cantonese, so we're gonna all be watching along with subtitles. It's gonna be a fucking hoot and a holler.
And Book to the Movie with Lawnmower Man with CB Smith over on Patreon also.
Yeah, got some good stuff on Patreon. We got the commentary, Book to the Movie, and the watch along, and we'll have some talks from the dark side for you in the main feed, and Ripe reviews in the main feed, and of course our regular full-length movie dumpster episodes for this event month.
I think that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, hope you enjoyed.
If you want some more good, bad, and god-awful movie goodness, head over to MovieDumpsterPodcast.com and follow us on all of your favorite social media and streaming platforms.
You can also head on over to our Patreon page and sign up for the $2, $5, or $10 tiers for monthly exclusive content, or drop by our merch store and grab yourself some non-committal swag.
Yeah, and for no money at all, you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts to support your favorite show.